Let me come back to GJ, but this is actually one that I'm thinking about potentially taking a trade on. GJ, Euro Yen. I need to take a Euro Yen look because Euro Yen actually gets a higher score on the Edge Finder. Ooh, I do like this chart. This chart, I'm going to be honest, I like this better than GJ already. Euro Yen, I do actually really like this setup. This is a pretty trade, guys. We've broken out of this downward structure here. Let's do this. We're gonna do our. I like these parallel channels. I don't know if you guys like these. I find them to be really cool because I generally speaking use zones because I don't think markets move perfectly with specific prices. There's just too many people participating and looking at this chart to react perfectly to a single level. So I like to kind of draw things as zones, and so it makes a lot of sense for me with trend lines to kind of do the same thing. Anyways, couple ideas for Euro Yen on the lower time frames here, guys. We have a potential break and retest could be interesting, and then of course a retest perhaps into this zone could also be interesting. Hey Ivan, what's going on? I didn't see you there.
Nick, like the thing is like I was in the stream an hour ago and I said, pound yen, that's the low of the day. And I'm like,
oh, I missed
dude, you're late.
Out, didn't I? Are you in pound yen, Ivan?
Yes, of course I am. And then in Euro yen. Like, awesome, of course.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm an hour late to your ideas. I had to well, Ivan, you got the time frame jump on me, I'm in here in the office usually about 7 a.m., which, I'm up at 5:30, so I can't get here much earlier, but I should have been streaming. You're right. I should have just started the stream, and maybe Ivan, we just need to start doing 24-hour streams. What do you say?
Yeah, why not? Like so we never ever again.
We'll just run it through the weekend. Even we'll just stay here. Even the markets are closed. We'll just stare at them anyways. Good to have you back on the show as always, Ivan. If you guys don't know Ivan, real quick, Ivan is one of our coaches here at A1 Trading, and him and I have been doing these streams together for quite a while. Ivan does both group coaching and individual coaching, which you can find out more information about within our Discord channel. Today, we're going to be going over some setups as we usually do. Ivan, are you looking at yen pairs a lot, or are you looking at anything else? Obviously, you've got pound yen and euro yen you're looking at. Anything else you're looking at? Hey Frank, did you get that Edge Finder work done I asked you about?
Yeah, I did, but why did you have me do this? I don't get it. I mean, why did we take away half of it?
Oh yeah, this looks just so much better. You can really read right here especially. You get everything you want just in one spot. It looks the greatest it's ever looked. Come on, Frank, you get it. It makes so much more sense now. Keep it like that forever, really. Right now, for a limited time, get the Edge Finder half off. Yes, 50% off the Edge Finder. Slash that price in half and get your hands on the tool today by messaging us down below using the link in the description or in the chat right now. Keep it like that forever, really.
Euro, dollar, pound, dollar, also everything. Like, I'm looking at dollar, I'm looking at yen, I'm looking at S&P 500 for the first time in like in a million years.
All right.
So in all the yen pairs, like Aussie yen, Euro yen, pound yen, New Zealand yen, except for CAD yen, because I would say that is still very much bearish until it breaks 106-ish. Then I will start getting interested in it.
Okay. So pound dollar and euro dollar. I'm very curious. What do you think about those? And how would you be playing them?
Okay. So I'm trying to take away my excitement because this is great. I just think this is going to continue. Like we said, was it last week? We had a discussion about CPI, and I came on and like saying this is the moment. I told you guys, it continues, and it's going to continue. Now the only problem I have is FOMC is next week. So that for next week. So for this week, we might have dollar bullishness. If we get dollar bullishness, woohoo, then that's another entry. So this one, I am either going to scalp after a new higher high and then a pullback, or I'm going to wait for it to fall and then I'm going to look for some kind of reversal pattern or smaller time frame. or 1 hour for that matter. But I need either continuation or I need a reversal if it starts dropping below 112. And also I've seen some saying that we should be getting buys again around 111.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's a good point though that you made that, because next week we do have really market moving news. And it does, for those of you guys who are newer to fundamentals, who watch these streams, what Ivan pointed out is that next week we have a Fed meeting in which, of course, during those, they make important monetary policy decisions. Monetary policy decisions dictate very heavily what the market does right now, especially, right? There were times where it was less impactful, but lately, ever since the inflation storm that we've had since 2020, monetary policy is everything for markets. And right now, with that meeting on the horizon, there is that potential, as Ivan pointed out, for some profit taking ahead of that event. If you're think about this, if you're somebody who's managing a large amount of money, and you just rode that NASDAQ trade, or that pound dollar move up, or the euro dollar move up, if you're in those trades, you may be saying, okay, well, I'm managing tons of money, and we do have a major news piece that's coming out next week, and I don't know what's going to happen there. Maybe it's time to just lock in some profits. And as Ivan made the point there, what that can do for us as traders is it could perhaps push the markets back down for a brief period here as markets digest all of the recent gains, and perhaps set us up for some trade setups that look really good. I'm looking at pound dollar, Ivan, and I kind of like this chart as well. This one has moved back a little bit more than the euro has. So I think possibly I'm on the same boat as you. I like gold long this week if I can get a pullback. Euro looks interesting as well. Pound looking interesting. I think my preference is looking at gold and possibly the indices if I can get them. But what do you think about? You mentioned S&P. What's your thoughts on the S&P?
Oh man, I hope that you would never ask me.
Give it to me. I need it. I love the indices.
I can't remember this trade plan when that one came along. I guess this is from the group meetings or whatever. But what I'm looking for now, I either want a deeper retracement back down to 44.60, or just a small little high and then a pullback, and then a stop below these lows here, like very close, very scalpy. I just want to see the volatility that New York comes with, and then see if we get a deeper pullback or if we start rising again. So looking for a buy.
And you mentioned that 44.60 mark. I've got that one marked on my trade as well. And for the price action, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, I want to show you. So right there on Ivan's chart, see that breakout, right? Look how much conviction that break above 44.60 came with. That is a beautiful, strong, in Ivan's case, blue candle to the upside. It just had no remorse and just blasted through that area. To me, what that signals is that the buyers, quote unquote, I like to use the word captured that area. They totally just wrecked the bears at that level. And so if price comes back into that zone, Ivan and I both had that marked on our charts. This is the cool thing about, again, you do this for long enough, what you find is that a lot of traders, there's my chart, right? So I've got my chart on the screen now. Ivan's got his, and these are both things that we had marked prior to even talking. So this is an example for those of you guys, when you talk about technicals, sometimes people say like, oh, nobody uses technicals, they don't work. We're looking at the same thing. We're spotting out zones, and Ivan and I have been doing this for a long time. So a lot of traders and investors are going to have those sorts of levels marked in their chart, and they're going to react to those areas. So I do like also the S&P for a possible pullback. I would love to see a deeper retracement, perhaps down to that 44.60 on the S&P. NASDAQ as well. I'm also interested in long side, but it's got to give a little bit more of a retracement because it's had such a strong rally recently. I do think that there's that room, like I said, for some profit taking. Ivan, what do you think about gold?
I had a small little meeting with I had a small little meeting this morning. I'm like, I need two things from gold. I need either a brand new higher high, because I'm like, so what is currently happening on gold technically is that it hasn't risen as much as any other dollar pair. Like it's really just paused ever since the initial move. And the reason has to be, why has he done that? So for me, brand new higher high, continuation or a deeper pullback, even though 1940 looks like an okay level to buy it from, but I think that is actually not going to hold. So the only thing that I really want to see and have to see is a break above 1960 and continuation.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I think I would say I definitely like the idea of a breakout through the highs. I think I probably would take a stab at that 1940 level, maybe 1936, where we previously had these ginormous candles, like these big breakaway candles. I'd be interested in possibly picking up gold if we do get a retracement down to that 1936 area. Could be interesting. But again, like you mentioned, gold not performing against the dollar so much as perhaps some of the other currencies out there, like euro dollar, pound dollar. Those things have just made serious moves here. I do like gold. Like I said, I put this out on my Sunday analysis video. I like gold, but I don't like it long here. I think this was kind of a day trader's attempt. It did make a move, but again, if you're talking about more of a swing trade perspective, which is more, you know, kind of what I focus on, probably 1936 looks a more attractive there. So interesting move there. Ivan, anything else? You mentioned, actually run us through real quick. You have euro yen, pound yen. Can you show us those trades? We talked just half a second about those. Show us what your game plan on those is.
So my initial thought is, what is strong, what is weak? And it's very easy to be like, okay, something is strong, something is weak by looking at the chart. But fundamentally, Bank of Japan has still not done any changes to their yield curve control. They're still ultra loose. So I'm like, okay, cool. Yen is bearish. And yen as a euro still has a very strong currency and it's still very strong fundamentally. So for me, I'm like, it's an easy piece lemon squeezy trade. I just happen to be alive at that low of 155. So I'm like, you can go back in everyone else can go back in the recordings and look at what I said, and I said this is the low. If you have if you're planning to buy it, probably use your whatever rules you use, and this is probably the time. And I'm just, well, I was right about that, but it can always come back down again. So I was just there at the right time, at the right place at the right time. The other thing is, it is at support, broke it, come back down, and to me is it a breakout continuation trade slash reversal of trend trade, both of them. So this is my sweet spot. This is my trading setup number one.
You've got Aussie dollar ideas on this one.
I just want to point it out because Gareth says keep it simple. So what has happened this morning is that China came out with some GDP and some industrial production numbers, which was not as great as anticipated. So this Aussie is, I would argue, in itself weak, and then dollar is weak. So this is a contestant of who is weaker and weakest. So even though you would like the order list look like a great buy, I would be strongly advised against, but I would not take this trade because Australia needs to be strong as well as dollar being weak for this one to be a great buying opportunity. So I'm mentioning this because I'm staying away completely from this. Secondly, it doesn't have a higher high, so I'm out of this.
Fair enough. And I think, you know, the Aussie, we've talked about this a little bit in previous streams together. It's an interesting trade right now because of the exposure to the slowing Chinese economy. You know, a little different than perhaps, you know, euro dollar, Aussie dollar. Australia does a lot of trade with China, so it is quite exposed to any potential slowdown in the Chinese economy. It's an interesting kind of side spice to the Australian dollar. The cool thing is when you trade these things for long enough, guys, especially if you pay attention to fundamentals, you learn the different impacts on different you know, currencies. So if you're talking Aussie, it's of course China, and it's also of course commodities market. The commodities market being hot can oftentimes cause price appreciation in the Australian dollar.
Don't forget to check out the links in the description if you want our broker recommendation, access to our free Discord, free EDGEFINDER, or want to chat with us on Telegram. Remember, you can watch us live in the markets every morning starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and we have lots more free trading tools and content available on our website, a1trading.com. Thanks for watching.